Okay, this is the most wind that we have ever been out.
Drop it, drop it, drop it, drop it. Wild that every single digital indicator we have says there's nothing.
Oh, that was scary.
About 22 feet of depth, it's getting deeper. We've got to get past this breaker. Hold on.
That was exciting. I look over at Tim and there's just a wave breaking past. Crazy.
This engine, we notice less water coming out of the exhaust.
It's a gotta keep moving kind of a morning with bugs. They must be all over our boat.
So we leave today? Because there's a lot going on. A lot of people to call.
The big harbor. One minute. Spaceship launch. Wow. That was cool.
Hey there, I'm Kelsey, that's Tim, and this is the story of our adventure. Life is fleeting, and we want to squeeze every bit out of it. We are wandering the world, so home is a bit of a moving target for us. We love finding the random, the remote, and sharing it all with you. So subscribe to get lost with us and hopefully find some inspiration to go after your own dreams.
Hello.
We are in the midst of heading south and prepping this boat to leave the USA for the foreseeable future. And that is a lot of work. Coordinating weather, shipping stuff, projects.
Yeah. Getting mail is a lot more difficult than you could imagine. We've been making plenty of scooter trips to go get mail. We have sales coming and we had to find a commercial address. It's a lot.
Yes, but in the videos, we are in Charleston and we had been exploring for a few days. And after the busy city, we were pretty ready for something a little bit calmer.
Absolutely. Someone reached out to us and told us about a spot a little bit down south, so off we went.
So we picked up anchor and did a short little sail south.
Yeah, this spot was awesome. Super calm, and the dolphins were around 24/7. You would hear some random breathing, and of course that was the dolphins circling the boat and fishing.
Yeah, just take a look at this spot. One of the coolest things about living on a boat is that you get to wake up in spots like this. While we were here, we mostly caught up on work, but we did meet some new friends, which was fun.
Yeah, it was super cool to look over and see another 1260, which is a pretty rare occurrence, anchored right next to us. And actually, it was the latest hull produced. So we got to check out and compare how Old Goose compares with the newest.
Yes, we didn't film any of it because it's just weird when you're hanging out with people to throw a camera in
Yeah,
their
we'll
face.
get better at capturing our friends, but it's always tough to shove a camera in people's faces, especially ones you've just met.
Yeah, but it was really nice to meet them. And before we knew it, though, it was time to keep heading south.
Absolutely. It was already still too cold for us. We needed to get to warmer weather. I gotta say, this is beautiful. We're heading out nice and early. If we left any later, we have 2.5 knots coming at us, peaking at like 3.5. It's a very narrow inlet, and so I'm guessing that's why. On the way out, let's see. Yeah, the way out, when it's running the way we'd like it to be running, it's 4.5 knots, which is the most I've seen. I know that there's a lot greater tidal swings elsewhere in the world, but to drive our own boat through 4.5 means with our little sailing engines, basically we'd be full throttle and we'd go about 1 knot against it, maybe something like that, maybe 2 at best. But that's pretty wild. So we got 1.5 against us right now, which is not bad, and that's why we're leaving so early. And then this storm, you got a hurricane down in Florida, got, it's going to go to the Gulf, I think, so we'll be okay. And then out here, we've just had this 24 to 35 knot blow hitting the shore from the Atlantic. Maybe some spin-off from the Hurricane Patty that's headed to Spain, I guess, but I don't know. And so we've been waiting for that. It keeps recessing a little bit south each day. So today we're clear basically in front of us, and then we're going to head south. But in case the waves are still really bad, because they were 2.5 to 3 meters every 5 seconds, which just seems a little sporty. So today they're supposed to be 2 at like 7 seconds. So still sporty, but not terrible. But if it's bad, we're just doing a day sail, and then we'll pop back in 70 miles south of here, and a pretty big day sail for the speed of this boat, but not undoable. And then if it's nice, we'll just continue on and head towards Florida. So we got mail waiting for us down in Stuart, Florida, but we're also no rush to get there. Our sails are at least 3 weeks out, I get the feeling, and that's when they're done being manufactured, if they're on time, then shipping. So we might be going to the Bahamas or the Keys or something before we get sails. So yeah, but we were tired of sitting still. Time to move.
Keep on keeping on, keep on keeping on, leap on leaping on, leap on leaping on, oh keep on keeping on, keep on keeping on, leap on leaping on, leap on leaping on, keep on keeping on, keep on keeping on, leap on leaping on, leap on leaping on.
Oh, that was scary.
About 22 feet of depth. It's getting deeper. We just got to get past some breakers.
First time we've sailed at breakers. Don't really want to do it again.
Big one coming.
Okay.
Turn me into it. Hold on.
Keep on keeping on.
That was exciting. What a way to wake up, man. I've never had breaking waves. Like, I look over at Tim and there's just a wave breaking past. Like, crazy. Well, thankfully, things calmed down from there. It was an exciting exit, though.
Yeah, that's for sure. We had a nice quick sail, and then we were going in a spot called Hell's Gate, which seemed a bit sketchy, so we thankfully had a fishing boat to follow. But I noticed our port engine wasn't spitting as much water as I felt like it should.
Yep, so as soon as we dropped anchor, Tim was on it.
So this engine, we notice less water, raw water, seawater coming out of the exhaust. So it can mean a lot of things. But I think it's running hot, and I think it's not getting enough seawater through it. So something could be caught in the seawater system. The impeller could be missing some fins. And one I know, this belt might be loose, but I know the belt's a bit loose. I don't like how loose it is. So whether or not that's not that, whether that is the issue, I don't know. But I'm replacing the belt. That's a certainty, because it's at its greatest adjustment, it's still a little bit loose, which I don't like. Okay,
So some afternoon wrestling, or evening wrestling, I should say. So it's not too bad. The alternator just didn't want to move on its adjustment. Or rather, I should say, it moved as much as it appears it can. It's still so hard to get that belt on and off. The water pump, raw water pump, was much easier to get on and off, but that's also because that belt was worked. So the new one was a bit tougher to get on, but already I can see the purpose in redoing it, because now when I do tighten up the tension, I'll have some tension. So yeah, going good. It's just tight little space, and it's hot. It's nice and cool outside though.
Yeah.
So I got that going for me.
So I'm not sure how well I explained that, but essentially the port engine's the one, if you remember, that overheated before from a slipping belt. I had run out of all of adjustment with the belt, so I knew it was time that it was loose again to put a fresh belt on there. Additionally, when we checked that impeller, missing 3 of its arms, that was no good either. And that was only a 4-month-old impeller, so maybe we just got a bad batch, I'm not sure. But we went ahead and replaced that, and we've been good to go ever since.
Yep, so with that fixed, we headed off again for another overnight passage, which was supposed to be very calm and serene, but we got a little more than we bargained for.
That's for sure. That was a bit exciting.
Okay, so this is the most wind that we have ever been out in. We're seeing almost 30 knots
Yeah, I just
consistent.
went over 30, back to 28, 29, and it just came out of nowhere. Nothing's forecast. It should be 10 to 11 and docile, and then diminishing, not growing. So, and then every weather forecast that we have,
Yeah.
checked. We always do. So I don't know what this is or where it's coming from, but we're gonna try it. We got the jib in. We already have that reef in the main, and I'm just steering into the wind, trying to keep it from luffing, but also not going to put the full load on it until we drop it to the second reef or fully take it down. We're not sure which yet. We're trying to see if this is temporary or if this is like a big storm that was not forecast.
Yeah,
So
at least because it wasn't bad weather, we have very small waves, which can change, but right now the sea state isn't too bad, it's just the wind.
Yep.
Which is very nice, because this would be very stressful if the sea state was really bad too.
31, 32.
Okay, I think I should probably start putting in the, drop it or put in the reef, what do you think?
I think put in the reef to start. If we can get that done, that'd be amazing.
I think this is
Drop it,
too much
drop
pressure.
it, drop it, drop it. Be careful, gonna get away from you, so keep a left wrap on there to keep it safe. Go, 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 go. Go, 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 go.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, it's the strangest thing. I'm even looking at the buoys that report on the app. We have an app that shows the NOAA buoys, and they're showing 7 to 9 knots of wind, and some are showing they haven't reported in an hour or two. But so that would kind of make some sense that they haven't reported. But wild that every single digital indicator we have says there's nothing, and this is
There's definitely something,
29. We've seen as high as 34.
but it's
Back to 30
29, 28.
at least. Yeah, and we think our wind indicator, our apparent wind indicator, is not correct either. So a little sticky. So yeah, I don't know how to prevent this. So it's gumming down, but there you go, 27. So we're looking at on Navionics different inlets we could cut into if we need to bail out of the ocean anyways. Don't want to do a passage on a tight one that when it's rough anyways. I'd rather stay out here and run its course. But it does seem to be diminishing. It's just still solid 20, what is it? 22 to 25, and that's apparent.
Yeah, it's gotten way better.
So thankfully it did calm down after a little while. I think we did pretty good considering it was our first unexpected squall.
Yes, and of course, Goose did great. In the morning, we pulled into our next destination right on the Florida-Georgia line.
It It was an absolutely beautiful day when we arrived, and we're actually anchored right off of a national park.
Yeah, it was awesome. So we jumped in the dinghy because we knew the good weather was not going to last for very long. Just showing off. Look what I can do.
You gotta be feeding, right? When it comes up sideways. You gotta be chasing fish, right?
Yeah, we're playing with each other.
Yeah. And that is so cool.
I'm sitting here editing, and we knew this storm was coming today, but it hit like that, and it is hard rain, lots of rain, and very windy, but cozy day to be inside editing and watch a movie.
Indeed. Better than them who were anchoring in it.
Yeah,
Didn't look like a lot
you can't even see the boat anymore. There is a boat out there that literally just dropped anchor, and then it started pouring. Eventually, the weather did clear up.
Which is perfect because we've been itching to explore this island that we're anchored right next to.
We are at Cumberland Island this morning, and there's no one here yet. And there's a lot of bugs, though. Definitely a lot of bugs, but it's been stormy for a couple of days, so it's finally nice. Goose is just right out there.
Goose is hanging out. And these cool looking, sort of look like a research vessel, but they accompany the nuclear sub as far as I can tell. And that sub base is right over there. You can see those big pens.
Right there.
But there was actually a sub, what are they, Ohio class, Trident or whatever missile, right outside that we saw when we dinghied by. And they have a couple gunboats that just, the noses of them just follow you. And we're just in our little yellow dinghy going past, and they just kind of follow you. And you're like, yep, no, I'm not going to get any closer. But I wonder if these two, another one just went out, means the sub might come out today, which is always a neat thing. I don't know why, but it's such a weird object. I know we've had subs for, well over 100 years, but it's still pretty cool.
And then there's Goose back there.
And there's Goose.
It's a gotta keep moving kind of a morning with the bugs.
But I don't think mosquitoes.
No, just no-see-ums.
Yeah, just no-see-ums and then those little flies. And I don't know if they bite. Get a map.
Maps.
Map. All right, we'll put it back when we're done. There's only a few left. Wow, what a road. Look at that.
Right? Isn't that crazy?
That is so cool.
It smells really good.
Yeah, it does. These trees are so cool. Yep.
Wow, so cool. We were just saying how this walking through here kind of reminds us of walking like in Central America, like
Yeah, Guatemala,
yeah.
for sure, right?
Yeah, like at
except
the
there's
ruins.
giant pyramids and howler monkeys
Yeah.
screaming at you, but that calm, the air, humidity.
Yeah, it's like dense and quiet. It's
Yeah.
pretty cool. Very peaceful right now.
Yeah.
We're gonna go see some, hopefully, alligators.
Hopefully.
And horses. Although we've been able to see the horses from the boat. They come out every day and graze a little bit out there.
True, but it'd be nice to see some up close. For Kelsey's sake.
During the Civil War, most of Island residents been living in a variety of capacities as employees,
Where is he?
servants, or wealthy island residents working for various timber.
Well, we looked for him. We didn't see Mr. Alligator anymore.
Yeah, it's one of those things you don't want to look too hard for.
No.
Like, I don't want to start getting down right to the water's
No.
edge and really looking.
He
But,
probably sees us
yeah,
if he's here.
sort of like mountain lions, I think. They see you. You rarely get to see them.
Very
Although,
pretty, though.
the caiman, I gotta say, in like Central and South America, They were pretty bold. They would just
They
sit
were,
out.
yeah, they didn't care.
You had to get pretty close for them to want to run away.
This is what we're after. Right.
He won, however. Thomas Carnegie purchased the property, tore down the windmill Dungeness ruins, built his own house in its place. The Carnegie Dungeness had 37,000 square feet.
This is so cool in here. So Tim downloaded the app so that you have like an audio tour. It tells you about each little area. And I think behind us we can hear the ferry arriving with all the people. But we got here before everybody, which is pretty neat because this is so peaceful. So to walk through it just by yourself quietly, it's pretty awesome.
Officially ended, Coburn offered freedom and passage to the British Caribbean to any enslaved.
So what, this is the Carnegie Mansion, Tim?
Yes.
So they owned this whole island.
Carnegie, I think, is how they're a Scottish family. I've always said Carnegie, like Carnegie Hall, but I guess it's Andrew Carnegie. Amazing. I mean, it's just the parts that last, you know, is all this cut out coral. I wonder where they cut from. Obviously somewhere nearby, I assume.
Yeah.
So cool.
So cool. It feels giant when it's like ruins. I can't imagine what it would have felt like.
Yeah.
With its whole roof and it had some big windows.
Yeah, right? Especially for that era.
So that's the view. Looking out the front of the mansion right there. Not bad.
And the wrought iron work on the openings, wow. Wow, just looking at the fireplaces even is so cool.
Right?
The scale is pretty wild.
I know, it is huge. He just stepped out, whinnying, looking for a friend. He's not too interested in me, looking for somebody else.
Which is the god of medicine.
Ah, the Spanish moss on all the trees is just so pretty, so different for us.
Yeah.
Coming from the Southwest, all the trees with the Spanish moss. Pretty cool.
That's neat too that this moss is sort of symbiotic
Yeah.
with the trees. I don't know if they do provide any benefit, but at least there don't seem to kill it like the
hurt it,
mistletoe.
yeah. They like the white engine, I guess. They must be all over our boat.
Yeah, definitely. So we leave today?
That was such a cool outing. Besides the horses and the bugs, we had it all to ourselves.
Yep, the first people we saw were as we were coming back to the dinghy. From there, we decided to say goodbye to the bugs and do another hop south.
Yeah, we're actually planning on going a lot further, but when I read that there was a rocket launch happening that night, we had to make a little detour.
Yep.
So sort of a spur of the moment decision. Last night on my shift, I was looking up, I wonder if there's gonna be a launch as we pass. And there wasn't, but there is tonight. So we are heading in to Cape Canaveral, the port or the harbor or whatever it is. So we have a bridge to go through and a lock. I think it's probably the only time we're gonna have this boat go through a lock. So that's kind of cool.
Besides
then-
the Panama Canal.
You're right, it says Panama Canal. So our first lock, I should say.
Yeah.
And as you can tell, we're a little bit nervous because there's a lot going on. A lot of people to call on
It's a
different
big
channels.
harbor.
Yeah.
There's cruise ships, bridges, locks, and then all this. What's that? Genuinely doesn't look like David.
Watching the rocket launch on TV and live, although we'll go outside when it launches.
Not a bad sunset, and then 1 minute after the sun sets, spaceship will launch, which is pretty cool. So we're not super close, but I think we'll be able to at least see it up in the sky, which is cool.
Super cool. I mean, what a day.
Yeah,
We're still so out of it from a long night sail, and I wasn't able to sleep this time. And so it was a long night sail, doing our shifts. We did our first lock,
and
first lifting bridge, and now we're anchored, waiting for a rocket to launch, watching a live feed that you might hear in the background on YouTube, thanks to our Starlink dish, which this is not Starlink going up today, but it's
SpaceX.
communications tower, satellite, sorry, by SpaceX. Yeah.
4, 3, 2, 1. Here. There it is. Wow. And it's in the cloud. Wow, you can hear it. I see it. That's cool. You could feel it, and it's cloudy, but you just catch glimpses of it through the clouds. It's pretty neat. Can you hear that? It's like it rumbles the boat. Wow, that was cool.
It was so cool to go through our very first lock. It's neat thinking that the second lock might be in Central America.
Yeah, and it was cool because the lock keeper told us that the dolphins and everything know to use that to get back and forth, so it's kind of neat to be in there with all the wildlife.
Yeah, using it just like you are to get somewhere.
Yeah,
so it was a really neat experience, not to mention seeing the rocket go off.
Yeah, absolutely. But that is it for this episode. Join us next week, though, as we bring you here, where we are preparing the boat to leave.
To the land of many projects, spending lots of money on parts and mail, etc., for us to be able to leave the United States for the first time on the boat.
For a long time.
For a long time, hopefully.
Yeah, we hope.
All right.
Anyways, see you next time.
See you next time. Thanks. Look at that.
Oh, hey, little guy. Got a little visitor. How did you get here?
Your flow, on your flow, yeah. On your flow.